Welcome to Review Journal Sports Betting Spotlight on NFL Week 9. We're here at the Orleans Sportsbook with handicapper Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas, Boyd Gaming Sportsbook Director Bob Scucci. We'll give you 3 picks each in the NFL, including our best bet. And as always, Kelly will lead us off. What are your first 2 plays?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say this is my disclaimer for the week. As much as I'd like to be dumb enough to bet the Niners again for the 3rd week in a row, I can't do it, even though I think that they are the play. So I'm going to be going with my second least favorite pick. No, just kidding. The Miami Dolphins +3. I hate backing Jay Cutler. I really do. But this is why I'm looking to do so. They're off a big primetime loss to the Ravens. Their coach just had to resign due to some extracurricular activities. They just traded their best running back for a 4th-round pick. Their stock has never been lower. They're getting 3 points at home. But who are the Raiders to be laying a field goal on the road? Give me the Dolphins +3. Next bet, Giants +3.5. Both these teams are off a bye, but then you have this Rams team that everybody's so high on. They're sitting on the top of the NFC West. But they're laying a field goal at New York. It just seems off. The Giants are riddled with injury. Bettors are going to be focusing on that when they head to the window. I'm going to be the contrarian here. Give me the field goal and a half with the Giants.
I need to start doing that. When things don't look good, just go the opposite, right? Yeah. All right, Bob, who are your first 2 plays?
Well, the first one is the Cowboys +1 against Kansas City Chiefs. Only because I think there's value in the number here. This number is reflective of Ezekiel Elliott being out in this one. He's serving his suspension. This line probably would have been Dallas -2.5. So what we're saying is that we're giving a 3.5-point line adjustment to Zeke Elliott. Now, as good as he is, I think in this league, in this day and age, that no running back should really be assigned that much value to a team. It's more of a pass and catch league with quarterbacks and wide receivers. They're assigned that much value. So I just think there's too much value here. Dallas still has a great offensive line. So Elliott's spot will be filled by Darren McFadden, Alfred Morris, guys who can average 5 yards a carry. I don't think they'll miss him as much as this line is reflective. So Dallas +1 against Kansas City. My next pick is the New Orleans Saints -7 against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is kind of going in the wrong direction, and everyone knows that the Saints are clicking on all cylinders right now. But what goes unnoticed with this Saints team is their defense. Everyone is enamored with that offense. They know they can put up a ton of points, but their defense is what's really been carrying them. You take away their first 2 games of the season, one against the Vikings, one against the New England Patriots, and their next 5 games they've been averaging letting up only about 13 points a game. So in this one, going up against a Tampa Bay team that we don't even know if Jameis Winston is going to finish out the year at quarterback, I'll take the Saints -7 against the Buccaneers.
All right, I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions over the Packers by 2.5 on Monday Night Football. Believe it or not, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be doing any more four-wheeling with his little dog there, and he's also not going to be in this game, and the Packers are not going to go far with Hundley at quarterback. I just think the Lions will get this one done. The favorite is 9-1 and 16-5 against the spread in this series. Obviously, the Packers were the favorite for the majority of those, but it's the Lions' turn to come out with a win at Lambeau. The Lions settled for 5 field goals against the Steelers, but they got 482 yards of offense. They're moving the ball, and in a must-win, I'm going to go with the team that has a good quarterback and Matthew Stafford. I'm also going with the Chiefs as a pick-em over the Cowboys. I mean, taking Ezekiel Elliott out of the equation, I just think Alex Smith and company are looking really good this year. Smith has been amazing. 16 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, takes care of the ball, a lot of weapons. Number 3 scoring offense in the league at 29.5 a game. And they're 9-1 against the spread in their last 10 on the road, including convincing wins at New England and at Houston team that had Deshaun Watson firing on all cylinders. Let's move on to our best bets. Kelly, who's your best bet?
Well, I'm going against you, so I know it's going to be a winner. Packers +2.5 is my best bet. Primetime home dog. I'm so sad I was supposed to be at this game. Didn't work out. Packers needed a bye week. As my lovely co-host here stated, Brett Hundley is
lovely.
not.
I've never been called lovely before.
Is not Aaron Rodgers, but I don't care. He's got an extra week worth of prep time to play with the first team. 9-1-1 in the last 11 years after a bye week. The Packers have covered games. This is one of their biggest rivals in their division. 2.5 points. This is just crazy to think that the Packers are going to get 2.5 points versus their biggest rival in a rivalry game. I think this line is short for a reason. I'd like to see Aaron Jones have another big running game, couple touchdowns for me for my fantasy league. And I think the Packers win this game.
You're on all home dogs. I like it.
Yeah. Hey, the Bears are the biggest rival, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, they're one.
They hate the Lions. They hate the Bears.
I just had to fire back in some way at you, Kelly. But Bob, who's your best bet?
My best bet is the Panthers, -1 against the Falcons. Here's a divisional matchup between two teams that both appeared in the last 2 Super Bowls, both on the losing end. The difference is the Carolina Panthers were 2 years removed, meaning they've already had their Super Bowl hangover, and I think Atlanta is still in the midst of theirs. There's something wrong with this Atlanta offense, and they still haven't gotten back to where they should be. They struggled against a New York Jets team. And too much has been looking out on this Panthers side of their loss against the Chicago Bears.
I'm buying the Jacksonville Jaguars Kool-Aid this year. Their defense is amazing. They've had 10 sacks in 2 different games. And it's an odd week. My math's pretty bad, but week 9, it's an odd week, and they're 4-0 in odd weeks this year, outscoring their opponents 130-23. They lead the league in rushing. A lot of positives with Jacksonville. And I like to fade the Bengals after taking them the past couple of weeks. They've just looked terrible. They barely beat a Colts team that the Jags beat 27-0, and they could barely get a yard in the second half against the Steelers, who the Jaguars beat 30-9. So I'm going with the Jaguars, laying 4.5 at home over the Bengals as my best bet. That's our spotlight in the NFL.